Copy my system and you'll 12x your reach on LinkedIn. Now, I've created a system that any business owner or LinkedIn agency owner can copy. Literally, this will 12x your book calls, your reach. This will just basically 12x everything, right? If you're not doing anything correctly right now on LinkedIn, this is the video for you. Now, I don't make any income claims. I'm not going to say this is going to, you're going to be rich in a couple of days. I'm not going to say you're going to sign a 20K deal from a LinkedIn post. I don't make any income claims. I don't make any results claims. This is all directly correlated to your output. If you do a few posts and they go viral, bang, you might get a couple calls. You might close a deal. You might do 30 posts. You might not get any calls. You might not get any deals. This is all directly correlated to your output and how you understand the algorithm. But I will say this is a predictable system. It's helped me, and I've done over 700K in revenue for my own agency. For my clients, I've done over 2,500 book calls. This is off not just LinkedIn. I do X, YouTube, a few other different things, but mainly LinkedIn. I've worked with 1 or 2 Fortune 500 companies. MasterCard from LinkedIn, I was able to sign them for a video mapping deal for one of my clients. And a couple of daughter companies that I've worked with that have been attached to Fortune 500 clients. I've also got my clients into Forbes, YC Combinator, and a couple of different other VC funds, as well as worked with medtech companies, a few other people. Now, that's just a couple of increments. I've also trained 700 entrepreneurs on how to actually start their own LinkedIn agency. They've just been in my course. It's not like I've, one-to-one done it. I've maybe worked with 10, 12 people that have done one-to-one. One of the examples being Ethan Klauser. You can type him up on LinkedIn. He actually ran his own LinkedIn agency. He was doing like 1K per month. And then now, 6 months later, after working with me, done 27K per month, exited his company for a healthy 5-figure deal. Raul, he's an AI agency. Sam Arami, another guy, these guys, 8,000 followers, hundreds of meetings booked, a lot of software demo signups. This was for like his waitlist. Walter Chung, now he's doing 25K per month for his own agency. Yash, Jessica M. Green, Lunavate, a couple of other people, a couple other figures here. You might know them, you might not. But it wasn't always like this, especially for myself. I was stuck in London. If you guys have been in London, it's pretty miserable. Weather's not the best. But I spent a bunch of months just trying to get to 10K per month. I saw all these buzzwords, and I was really frustrated because I wanted to get out. I wanted to go, travel, do all the things you want to do. And I'm young. I'm only 17, so I was trying to do this at a very young age. But now I've been able to, I run a portfolio company. I manage a bunch of different client accounts, a bunch of different businesses where we've got over 1 million followers combined of all of these different accounts, including LinkedIn, X, a couple of different other places. I wish for a head start. I wish there was some type of value like this. I feel like a lot of people tell you the wrong things, or they won't give you the needle moving tasks. They'll bunch it up in a bunch of fluff. In this video, I literally just want to break this down. This is exactly what I did to scale all of these people. You don't need millions of followers. I'm specifically talking about LinkedIn, and this is only good for founders and B2B business owners, right? If you're not a founder, this is probably not going to apply to you unless you want to start your own brand on LinkedIn, you're thinking about selling, or maybe you're like a director of marketing for a big company. Other than that, I would just suggest clicking off because you're better off watching a different type of video. If you're in info, you should just go to Instagram Reels, you should do some other stuff. But if you're looking to, sell 1, 2, 3, 4K retainers, maybe even 10, 20K retainers, go upstream and target, government contracts, stuff like that. This is good for this, as well as any software companies that target B2B companies specifically. So I made this board really quick. Get a pen, notepad. My notepad's over there. I won't pick it up, but just write down everything you're going to do, actionable items that you're going to do straight after this, or you're going to do in your to-do for the following week. If you don't take any action on this, there's no point watching it. It's good to have the information, I guess, but as someone that's been in business since they were pretty young, obviously I'm not like a serial entrepreneur. I'm not like really rich and famous, but I've made a lot of mistakes, worked with a lot of different business partners, done a lot of different tasks, failed on a lot of client deliverables, delivered on a lot of client deliverables, worked with a bunch of different people. I'll tell you right now, if you don't take action right now, you're just gonna keep on telling yourself, hey, I'll do it tomorrow. So make sure you take action, or at least write down what you're gonna do. Now, this is the 5-part system. I'm gonna make this super simple. Profile setup. All you gotta do, this is gonna explain how you're gonna turn your LinkedIn into a landing page. Just like how you see, someone like Alex Hormozi, he has a pretty good Instagram profile. You see how he's got like all of his results, his highlights of like the clients he's worked with, and then obviously a CTA to like whatever type of book a call funnel, whatever funnel he has nowadays. Same thing I'm going to teach you, but just with LinkedIn. 5 proven post types that grows your followers and gets you clients. Pre-validated content, so like never run out of what to post. I know a lot of people, I've done this before. Literally, I've been staring at the wall like, what do I even talk about? I'm going to tell you how you can just never have that kind of banging your head on the wall moment, and then just how to sell in general. Bonus, I'll also tell you kind of like the algorithm report, what I'm seeing in the market, stuff like that. And we post a lot every day. We manage over 150 accounts, both internal that's just doing outbound and just content, so a mix of both. So I'll tell you right now, we do have a lot of experience and a lot of data. So let's get straight into it. So firstly, your profile's a landing page. This is my profile right now. Obviously, I'm more of like a building public kind of guy. I'm just kind of explaining what I'm doing, giving people insight. I don't need the leads. I don't need the business per se from my own profile. But this just gives you a rough idea of what I do. I explain what I do. So I'm running a portfolio of LinkedIn accounts for B2B companies to book calls, drive signups, or raise funding. I have my banner here. My other accounts, some on my team kind of have this exact banner. Then I also just have a CTA straight to my free LinkedIn training. So you can do something similar if you're trying to go down that personal brand route, be a bit more like not nonchalant, but a little bit more niched, a bit more like someone like Jeremy Haynes on YouTube. That's kind of the vibe I'm going for. But if you're looking to, sell, or your ICP is very much straightforward, and usually a lot of them are, like law firms, med tech companies, funded companies, or people that are more serious as well, like, even like construction companies, even if you're targeting like local businesses or hotels, you literally want to explain exactly what you're doing. So have a really good profile photo, a really good banner. This is kind of like, I guess this is somewhat professional. This is just my background. But, obviously it's up to you. You can have like a clear headshot with you in a suit. Obviously, AI is here, so you can just ask Nano Banana to whip something up. Or you can do something a little bit more like niche, or a little bit more, depending on who you're targeting. If you're trying to just target the masses and, target 9-to-5 owners, maybe it might be you in a car and like a, similar to how Sam Arami, he has his own like professional background. But, it might be like a photo like this where he's in the back of a car. Obviously, this is just taken from a video. But, Marcos, maybe you want to like create that authority. Maybe you're speaking, right? You got your microphone, stuff like that. Same with Richard, Ben Alistair. Obviously, this is him, talking in front of thousands of people. Or it might be something where, you're behind the photo of Forbes, show some authority. All depends on who you're going for. Now, headline, literally just explain your specific ICP, what outcome and who you target. Like, really good example, if you work with Mexican restaurants in downtown LA and you help them with meta ads, you don't say, I help businesses with meta ads, or I help restaurants with meta ads. You say, I help Mexican restaurants in downtown LA add X amount of money per month with this type of meta ads system, right? So you be very, very specific. The more niched you are, the most amount of people you'll appeal to. You'll be surprised. People like Lara Acosta, you can type them up online. Lara Acosta, Alex Hormozy, some of these bigger guys in the space, even like Mark Cuban. He's not trying to book a call. He's not trying to have 20, 30 people in his calendar, right? That's not what he's looking for. I'm guessing if you're looking at this video, you want that, right? If you're looking to sell a $3,000 service, you don't want thousands of third world entrepreneurs booking in with you, or unqualified people. You want 10 to 20 of the right people. Or if you're a SaaS company, you want thousands of signups, right? But you need to be very specific in your ICP. For example, if you've been, if you have, also this works really well. If you have meta ads data, if you have ad data, you have ICP data from other platforms, please use that. Please use that, because let's say, you've been running like, the meta ads where the static ad, it's like, if you're this type of person, we can help you add like whatever it is that you do, right? And you run like all of those different types of ads on Meta. I forgot what the name is, but there's a name on it. Ad guys, please comment down below if you know it. But basically, literally the ones that perform the best, put that on a profile. So like, let's say, you're targeting law firms and you're helping them get 20 calls with cold emails. Literally say, I help these type of law firms in this type of country, this type of area, even like Michigan. I help Michigan law firms, or I help Michigan lawyers add 10 book calls to their calendar of prospects that are, facing trial for this type of, I don't know. But you get what I'm saying, right? And then obviously you have your about section. My about section is very simple. I just want to share my journey, share my like value and insights. That's why I make these videos as well. I don't need the business. I just want to, give insight to the people that, potentially want to work with me, potentially want to network, connect, as well as anyone that kind of just doesn't have money for a course. So there's that. And obviously, like, remember, don't sound like a guru. So, don't want to be like really, really salesy. You don't want to come across too well. You just explain your acronyms, who you've done. If you've gone to college, if you've gone to like these type of things, that also works really well. But yeah, and then featured section, just have 2, your newsletter, your YouTube videos if you make any, and then direct CTA to like a landing page, lead magnet, book a form, whatever it may be. Yeah, I don't know what this stuff is, but yeah, and then obviously your job section, your experience section, just explain what you've done, or like what you are a founder, and remove all of the experience that doesn't like, not like, obviously Gen Z guys, you'll get this, but people that are a little bit older probably won't. But like the the experience sections that will give you like the most aura. So for example, if you know, if you've been like an intern at McDonald's and you did that like 10 years ago, don't add that. Don't add that in your experience section. But you know, if you've worked at like a huge company before, and it fits in like what you're talking about. For example, let's say you've helped law firms and you know you were previously a lawyer for like a huge like company, or you're working with a bunch of like Fortune 500 clients. You know, I'd suggest adding that in and explaining what you've done, and it kind of buffing up the stats, because you know that's what people also care about. And also, if you can, get some of your clients to give you recommendations. I have some on my page. You can take a look at it. You can look at Ethan Klauser. He literally left me a lovely recommendation. So I would suggest like take a look at those people as well. Now, next thing is define your ICP. You know, I've already explained it. I've already explained that, to be honest. Like, you know, just take any data that you have from any other external platforms that you're using on marketing channels, and then kind of use that as like a base. If you don't have anything like that, just test out like 5-10 different ones, and then really your 3-page personal branding document. So what I suggest you do is write every type of, actually, to be honest, now with AI, you don't even need to write it. You could just really use Whisper, or you could just use the voice feature on Claude. I don't like ChatGPT anymore. I know everyone hates ChatGPT now. I don't know why, but I don't like it either. I like Claude a lot more. But I would just go to the voice feature. Just open up your phone, go to the voice feature, and just talk to it, and just be like, you know, hey, like, and just pull up like. What I suggest is pull up, like, let's say you got meta ad stats, you got content stats, and then just go through it with Claude and just be like, yeah, so, you know, this post here, it booked like 5 meetings, but all of the meetings were like really unqualified. And this was what the post was. And this is like other channels, for example. And then just explain your business, explain all this stuff, send it to Claude. Claude will probably build this out for you really well, right? And obviously, if you have a bunch of other data, you have a bunch of business documents, just throw that all into AI and just ask it to build you like a 3-page personal brand document about all of these different things. And then let's say every single time you're like, what do I post? You can just ask it. Now, the best thing I suggest, and I tell everyone this, right, is, and we're going to go into the post types, don't use AI for any of your posts. I actually hate the idea, because it's a post, you have one chance every single day on your account to post. If your post is AI generated and you're not reading over it properly, you're not thinking about the post, you're just wasting the post, right? Unless you have a proven system, or you have like 20 different accounts you're going to post on, don't be lazy about it. Obviously, I know that's the only reason why you would use AI, is because you're lazy and you don't want to do the post. You know, realistically, if you did it yourself, it would probably be better than AI, because you know yourself the best, right? It's a post about you. It's a post about your experience. AI doesn't know you, right? AI knows a version of you that you've given it. You know, let's say you say, oh, like, for example, if I was to tell AI, oh, I'm like 17, I've made, you know, my business has done over 700K in revenue, talk about what I do as a marketing agency about this stuff, and I give it a document about my website, bamboai.com, right? I could give it that, and then it would probably give me a pretty good or a nice chunk of information, but it just won't sound like me. It's not the way I talk, and I might just hate it. But because I'm not thinking about it, and because I'm doing like 20 different things at once, I'll just copy and paste that and post it. That's what a lot of founders do. What I suggest is don't even do that until you have 5 accounts and you're actually spending over 2 hours a day posting. Then you can use AI to like supplement it in. Just use these post types, right? First is the awareness. So the awareness is like the top of funnel. Obviously, you know that kind of like top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel style content. What I suggest is focus at the start a lot on the awareness page, a lot on these 1 and 2, because this will drive the most amount of engagement. And as someone that doesn't have many connections, or like, let's say, you know, you haven't posted before, this is really important, because this will get you into the algorithm, at least get your posts out there, and then you can worry about converting them with these kind of posts. So the first 2, awareness, is like lead magnets. Take a look at my profile, right? Obviously, you know, I don't have the best posts compared to some of my clients in terms of virality, but it targets the right people I want to target. Take a look at my like comments. I maybe get 300, 400 comments, but the type of post and how I write it really take a look at it. It works really well for, if you're looking to target, upstream companies, bigger businesses. Even I got a couple of funded companies book in just from, I think it was my millionaire post when I said, millionaires are optimizing their profile. Comment below if you want the profile video. I got like 350 comments. I got like 1 or 2 funded companies book in from that. Right. So I would suggest, taking a look at those kind of awareness posts where you're giving away something. 2 personal posts. This is like I said, people buy into people, right? You don't want to become like a meme page or just like a straight value page, because people won't respect you as much, because they'll just see you as like a information guy. And we're going into the age of AI, and there's so much information flying around, so you're going to be much more respected if people understand your story. Obviously you need to have a mix of everything, but if you just talk about like giveaway, you're not actually going to have that personality. People won't book in. Really good example is my CMO, David Soul. You can type him up. David, I'll write it here. David Soul, right? Just save that, type it up on LinkedIn. Basically, he's a really good example of someone that just, we had, I think he, in the company he worked before, they were posting on his account, and they were posting like a lot of heavy AI stuff. I was talking to him, he was telling me, actually I was getting thousands of comments. I was making most of my money, or we were making most of their money, of posting like influencer and brand posts. Brands would come to his profile and be like, hey, can you do a post for me? But I was looking at the actual attribution of the revenue that was coming from those kind of posts, or he was telling me about them. He was like, dude, I was getting 2,000 comments, maybe a couple of people booked in, and they were unqualified, right? Like 10, 15 people book in, they'd be unqualified. And I'm like, what? So you're not even booking in the right people, and you would get 2,000 comments. And the real reason, in my opinion, is because, people are like information junkies. They'll comment on something. For example, if you just do number 1, they'll keep on commenting. But if you don't have any type of personality, most of the time, the 200-300 people that are qualified out of the 2,000 comments, they won't book in. But until you start building like that personality aspect, then they'll book in. One of my clients, Forbes 30 under 30, right? He's seen my content for like 8 months, and then he actually ended up working with me after 8 months, because he just hated that it kept on coming up on his page. And he basically knew me. He literally jumped on a call and he was like, dude, you're this, like you're posting about this. He literally knows everything. And, even till this day, he'll look at my posts, and he'll look at my, CMO's post, David, right? And he'll look at both of them, and he'll literally send them to me, be like, this is cool, dude. Like, what are you building now? Like, all of these different things. And it's crazy to like, even the guys that are making, multiple 8 figures, a year, they're even, invested in your story over the people that are just trying to get money quick. And you don't want those people unless you're like trying to market to the masses, which even if you're trying to market to the masses and you're selling like a $60 product, again, even those guys are hesitant to buy. And those are the worst people to get paid from anyway. They'll probably just charge back on you because they don't like the product or whatever it is, right? You want to target rich people. And, so many more people are becoming rich nowadays, or are becoming more online that are rich. You may as well just target them. Huge market. LinkedIn, like I said, less than 1% of people are posting, and every single company is on there. You may as well start posting, or like start appealing to richer audiences. Then we've got the bottom side, which is, once you've got an audience, you want to do like educational posts. So like talking about a specific topic, how to raise funding, for example, how we do it. So, take a look at some of my posts, they'll give you some idea. And then like conversion posts, so like case study posts, and like video testimonials, stuff like that, right? And then again, pre-validated content. Don't create like ideas from scratch. Take inspiration. So I have a really good created feed. Like even the people that I don't sign, I still network with them, and they all have personal brands on LinkedIn. So I like all of their posts all of the time. They do the same with mine. So that obviously like boosts my engagement a bit. But I have a really good feed. So I know every single thing that they're doing, and they know everything that I'm doing as well, because they obviously follow some of my internal accounts, right? So from that, I take a lot of ideas from them, and I'll just turn them into like LinkedIn related stuff. So one of my guys, when Gemini was on the rise and like everyone was talking about Gemini, he talked about how you can integrate that with like Google ads or something, and or like Meta ads, I don't know, one of the two. And he got like 2,900 comments, and he got another 2,900 comments for 2 other accounts that was just like his employees or whatever, right? And I took that exact thing, put it on one of my clients, but I just changed the entire, what it wasn't about Google ads, it was about AI and AI operating systems. And it literally got 1,500 comments. Sweet. you don't always need to reinvent the wheel, but obviously change it up a bit. Don't just, copy one of your mates' posts, obviously just like, or like one of your friends' posts, or don't just copy like a random influencer. Change it a bit, right? But that just gives you an idea. Also, use that AI personal branding document I told you. Have a Claude conversation. That's also really useful. And then how to sell on LinkedIn. I just put together like a serve framework. Basically, show up consistently. It's all about showing up, educating, but like unique education. What I'm doing right now is really unique because I'm going in depth, and all these other LinkedIn influencers I hear, they don't be this natural and raw, right? And that's what I'm trying to do, because I want to appeal to larger companies that actually can drive the revenue for both my company, and I can drive revenue for them. I don't want to appeal to like third world entrepreneurs that just want basic motivation to like stimulate them to make them work harder, right? So educate, but like unique education, and then relate to their needs. Of course, like you need to have some type of FOMO, some type of thing to hook them, but only relate to those people. So instead of being like, let's say you're an accountant, right? Don't be like, here's how you can save $10,000 writing off this type of person, or with this like US tax code, right? Don't worry about saving $10,000. Like if you're trying to sign $1 million deal and you're a huge accountant's firm, why do you want to tell someone that they can save $10,000, right? You want to say, here's this real estate hack that, or like you could talk about writing off an entire warehouse. If you're really niche, then you're targeting construction companies and you're helping them with their taxes, right? And you're helping them, obviously like tax codes, or like helping them with their finances, right? So you need to relate to them. So be like, if you're currently leasing a warehouse to host all of your things, you can actually use this tax code to write all of this off, save you $500,000 a year. That's just an example. And then obviously like value over transactions. Focus on providing value. Like I told you about that guy, the Forbes 30 under 30 founder that booked in with me 8 months ago, didn't want to pay, was like, oh, like this isn't for me, or like this isn't right timing. I was like, okay, sure. He kept on seeing my posts. I had that connection and relationship. I was texting him on LinkedIn every now and then, asking him how he is. I wasn't like trying to hard sell him. And then over time, he just ended up booking in with me. And then obviously like engage with authenticity. So like engage, like a lot of people are kind of scared to do this, but go on the algorithm, engage with other people, but only engage with like the rich people. There's no point engaging in people that are just posting some like motivational BS, engage with people that you could potentially help, potentially scale, stuff like that. And then obviously like here's obviously some other value as well, but that's the art of like our outbound system. You're not trying to push, you're trying to be not like nonchalant, but you want to have that like really good sweet spot where you're targeting the right type of people, you're not being salesy, and you're converting correctly. And then of course here's the bonus algorithm report. So the best performing formats that I'm seeing right now, that's pretty good. Carousels are converting pretty well. I've seen infographics and cheat sheets work really well, so like lead magnets. This is more on like the value side and like the education side. Then also I'm saying LinkedIn doesn't really like AI comments, or like AI sounding comments. So let's say if you've got a bunch of you're posting and people, you'll get this regardless. You'll get like a bunch of AI comments. But if your post is more like authentic and people having real conversations, and there's threads in your LinkedIn posts, or people actually writing paragraphs, that's how you're doing it correctly. So what I suggest is talk about like focus on like really good topics. One of my really good examples is where I say I met this agency owner in Bangkok, and everyone was like, what is this agency owner's name? Because he was making a lot of money and barely putting in any time on LinkedIn. And it was actually really just my co-founder, but point being is but everyone was like, who is this? And then obviously like engage with a couple of people. This is just some other stuff, this is just like some filler stuff that you can do, but the real needle moving thing is just see what's going on in the market, take some inspiration, see what you can give away, and post, and you'll at least get a couple thousand people look at your stuff. Hopefully you get a couple of people book in, and then hopefully that will give you a positive feedback loop to keep on posting. And then obviously if you have any issues, LinkedIn isn't working, my DMs are open on Telegram, I have my X. You guys can just send me a message, Frederick Podcarry on X. You can just book in. I'll leave the link in my description. But yeah, that's everything. If you have any questions, let me know. I know this is a longer style of content. If anyone's actually watching this right now and you guys made it till the end of this video, respect you guys a lot. These videos take some time. I really want to give a lot of value. I don't really need the deals anymore, so I kind of like giving away as much value as possible. Obviously, LinkedIn's really like, there's so many fish in the sea, right? There's millions of companies, literally millions of companies on LinkedIn. So there's so many fish in the sea. So yeah, I don't mind giving away some value. What am I giving away? Nothing. Worst case scenario, some other guy gets the deal. All right. So take this from someone that's actually just not trying to push anything down your throat. Just want to provide value, but it'd be great if I also sign clients from this video. So anyway, that's everything. If you have any questions, let me know. Leave a comment down below on any topics I should cover, and speak to you guys soon.